everyone, and welcome to today's video where we're going to go through a tiered perk list for Devour for the map of the town. Now, keep in mind that these perk choices are specifically for the town. S tier is going to be for perks that are useful in every single level of difficulty in the town. After that, A tier, might not be useful in everything, but it's still a useful perk. B tier is like basically the last kind of perks you really want to think about considering. C tier is like super niche situations, and D tier is like either outright useful or there's 2 or 3 perks that are just better for the exact same situation. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. And of course, we're going to start out with Crawler as always. 100% plus, possibly 100% movement speed when you're knocked down. Once again, I mean, it's a big map, so Crawler being one of those things where like everybody knows where the medkits are, or you should know where the medkits are. You can get there fast, even if you're on the opposite side of the map. You don't have to have somebody run and save you. Personally, when people put the medkits by the well, I'm just like, that's where all the ghosts spawn. Why would you put them there? Just put them up in the church and let the person crawl up there. It might take a little bit longer, but you know what? You're safer there than you are down there. But that's my personal opinion. But Crawler sits comfortably in the T tier for this very reason. Big map. Save some people some time occasionally, but really, if you're down, just start crawling anyway. Next up is Acceleration, plus 20% movement speed for 20 seconds after being revived. This is like, it's lower, it's like D tier. Almost always D tier. It's probably one of the worst perks in the game just because like 20% movement speed for 20 seconds after I get revived, whoop-de-doo, I'm probably already safe, so I'm getting to where I need to be, I'm getting to the other, what am I trying to think of, other objectives and stuff like that a little bit faster. Okay, but by the time, it doesn't really matter because when it comes to maps like the town, you're not just burning willy-nilly, everybody's usually together when you're burning. Especially if you're doing a 4-2-4 strategy, 2/3 of the time, you guys are all together burning these books. It's a team effort. There's body blocking, grabbing the book and putting it in. Somebody's grabbing the gas can and lighting it. Other person's like backing those people up. Like 2 people at the door and 2 people doing something. You're trying to be very consistent. So this really isn't going to help. Alongside it, all highlighted items are great at 50% greater distance. Again, nothing is going to sit out in the middle of the town except for like the odd gas can here and there. So you're not going to be able to see anything at any kind of like decent distance from there. You might be able to like poke your head into maybe the saloon and see something like all the way at that very end table, but something very rarely spawns on that anyway. Or that's about it. That's about the furthest you will ever need to see. You could argue for the hotel, but if you're going through the front door of the hotel, congratulations, you can see both of the 2 items that might spawn on the left or the right. And you have to go upstairs to the hotel to see if, anything's up there anyway, so you're going to see anything behind the bar. You don't need that distance. So it's pretty much a useless perk on this map. After alongside, we have Quartermaster. Medkits are highlighted through walls. Now, congratulations. You're slightly better than these 2 in the D tier list. For some reason, it's not wanting to move over, so I'll do it like that. But yeah, so Quartermaster really isn't all that useful. People are running through the buildings anyway, and as they run through the buildings, they grab the medkits and they put them where they need to be. If you go through 10 medkits in a single map of, a single run of the town, you probably weren't doing too well to begin with. And this isn't really going to help you because most of the buildings are so large that the places where the medkits can be are further than you would normally be able to see anyway. Especially from the middle of the road or anything like that, you're not going to be seeing, through walls for it to be all that helpful. So, unfortunately, Quartermaster's not really all that good. Supply Runner, welcome back to the S tier, buddy. This map is huge. It's easily the biggest map in Devour right now. It's going to remain the biggest map in Devour because Slaughterhouse, when it comes out, is actually going to be smaller. It's going to be around farmhouse size. So, Supply Runner is a huge thing for this map, especially if you're the one, carrying the books. And everybody's going to have to carry books at some point because everybody's going to be doing ritual items, stuff like that. You're going to be looking for the books. You're going to be cleansing them, and you're going to be running them up. the hill, the person with supply runner is going to do this 15% faster than anybody else, and is already going to be on their way back down the hill by the time you get up to the top of the hill. So supply runner, excellent perk, works for normal mode, hard mode, nightmare mode. Amazing perk for this map. Speedy, just like in every other map, the larger the map, the better Speedy is. Speedy is 7%. Actually, Speedy might actually be more useful than Supply Runner. It's hard to say because of the size of the map. If you're the person gathering all the supplies, you're gathering the gas cans, you're gathering the flashlight batteries, you're gathering the medkits, everything but the keys, Speedy's going to make you more important than than Supply Runner. If you're the person running the books, Supply Runner's going to... So either one of these could actually take first or second place for me as it stands right now. But speed on this map is key. The faster you can go, even better. Especially with only an important condition or no condition at all. Speedy and Supply Runner, still top tier perks. It's all about speed in this game. Speaking of speed, we're coming up to fast work and long interacts, except for revives are 50% faster in the town. Bam, it's actually probably top tier above Supply Runner. It's kind of 50-50 depending on how much you appreciate bursts of speed compared to the speed that you would save. Like, say you save 3 to 5 seconds, cleansing a book, and then 3 to 5 seconds burning a book, compared to the, many more seconds than you would have, save here, running books up the hill. So it's really like a trade-off, but honestly, this thing has more uses that Fast Worker has more uses than Supply Runner, and it can be used on every single level of the town. So it really gets top booking, top S tier for the town. And of course, we have Repellent. Minion movement speed is decreased by 50% when you are nearby. Let me say this: this is actually B tier for the town. C tier and D tier for everything else, but B tier for the town. Now, here's the issue that this is the only reason I'm giving this to putting it in B tier instead of high C tier, is because the ghosts, there were just as many ghosts on the town as there are minions on any other map. Something I don't think is actually fair, but it is what it is. But because the ghost can go through walls, the ghost can go through ceilings, the ghost can see you. Even with your flashlight off, the ghost can sometimes see you across the map anyway. So being able to slow them down when they're nearby and forcing their ability to cut you off by going through walls and ceilings and everything like that is really, really powerful. More powerful than being able to stop the enemies that are all the other enemies that are limited to the linear paths that you are also limited to. So in this particular map, it is a very, very useful perk to stop the minions. In fact, you could argue that the minions, the spirits on the town, are actually more dangerous than Sam, just because of their ability to cut you off and completely ignore any loop or anything like that. So Repellent actually is useful on this map, but there will be more useful perks throughout the tier list. Speaking of more useful perks, why have slow minions when you can have dead minions? Regeneration lets you your UV regenerate 50% faster. It's good on normal mode and hard mode, which is the sweet spot where people usually go to farm XP once they get good enough. It can't be used in nightmare mode, which is why it is not S tier, but for the times that it can be used, it is absolutely crucial. You can burn so many ghosts with this bad boy that you don't need to slow them down if they're gone. So, and you can stun Sam, let somebody else stun Sam. You might by that time have enough battery power to stun him again. Or you can stun Sam, let 2 other people stun Sam, and you're back. You're guaranteed to be back in action and ready to stun Sam again instead of the 4th person. You can always be that 1st and 3rd stun, in a chain. So, regeneration, absolutely amazing. After regeneration, we have Field Medic, revive players 50% faster. Again, it's just going to come down here and sit right over here where, there's useful, maybe C tier. maybe C tier. But medkits should be placed where it's going to be relatively safe. You should not have to worry about the speed of being able to pick somebody up. The only thing about this map compared to everything else, in fact, I might put it at the top of C tier. I put it at the top of C tier. There we go. Just because there is no actual safe space away from Sam that you can revive somebody. So reviving somebody faster, a little bit faster, can be useful. Maybe also in those like really bad situations where Sam's in the church, everybody's in the church, somebody goes down and somebody can pick him up. That might be a situation where that works. But it's still not as useful as everything else above it. After that, we have fully charged. UV is not consumed for seconds after using a battery. It's going to sit really comfortable right here in A tier. You can maybe decide which one of these is more important, but I always say if it's this niche of a situation, it's going to be lower on the tier. Remember, it's not whenever you use the battery, even though that's how it's phrased. It's whenever you equip the battery. It's very, very, very different, but it's an important difference that has to be understood. Once you equip the battery, that's when your 20 seconds of unlimited UV starts, not whenever you actually use the UV. That's how I've heard of enough confusion about the perk to understand why people don't use it and don't think about it. But because you're holding onto a battery instead of a book, this perk becomes very, very niche. However, it's more powerful in the town than anywhere else, because you can hold on to a battery for, like, say, everybody gathers the first 4 books, or 3 people can gather the first 4 books if you want, because you know Sam's not going to enrage by the time 3 people gather 4 books. You can grab the battery and hold it ready to, defend the area. And once you burn those first 3, the other 3 people go back down. You can guard whoever you think is probably the most important person on, with the perks, probably the person who has fast worker on. You can guard them with a battery, making sure that they get the next 3 books. That makes 8. They burn 2 more. 2 more books come up. You can go and guard one of those other 2 people with a battery while somebody else does. You always have that huge defensive measure with fully charged in nightmare mode or hard mode or anything like that. The town is very, very lenient when it comes to how many people need to do something. It's not always all 4 people have to do something. It can be 3 with 1 person guarding whoever they think is the top priority person to be guarded. And when it comes to the very last bit of the match, where you absolutely have to have everybody, defending the school, you being able to say, hey, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use up my UV, and I'm going to rock this battery, and I got 20 seconds of more UV. You are the spirit's worst enemy. While everybody else focuses on Sam, you can be the person that focuses on the spirits who are probably, swarming in there to stop everyone at the same time. And then you still probably have more than enough time to also help stun Sam. A very useful defensive perk, but it's very situational. While recharging or regeneration is not situational, it's always available for you. Then we have fully charged unfortunate twin supercharged, which just there you go, supercharged, plus 20% movement speed whenever you equip a battery for 20 seconds. I mean, actually, here's what we can do. We can go, yay! It's still D tier, it's just higher in the D tier just because the town is such a large map that, maybe you need that extra 20 seconds of movement. But again, if you're equipping a battery, you're equipping a battery because you need to use it, not because you need to run. And 20% extra speed is not fast enough to get away from Sam. Especially Sam, because if you're in a straightaway, Sam comes back from his stun, he can still shoot you from across the map, slow you down, and catch up to you. This won't help you get away from the straightaway of the town from Sam. So, I mean, we can even go, yeah, you're the top of D tier today, buddy. Still D tier, unfortunately. After Supercharge, we have Trapper. Trapper's just bottom of D tier right now, just because on the town, you always know where that last book is, it's right there in the church. If it's not right there in the church, you have done something horribly, horribly, horribly wrong. And it's probably still in church because a ghost probably picked it up from somebody who died and has grabbed it, and they're floating off. You're just going to UV the ghost. You know exactly where the book is. You should all, even if you don't have the book in the church and you left it on its pentagram for whatever reason to have one pentagram to go, you know where that pentagram is. You know exactly where that book is. There is no question as to where this last ritual item is. Unfortunately, Trapper just goes to the bottom of the tier list when it comes to the town. After the town, we have Evader. Now, here's a problem with Evader, and it's actually going right there. Actually, it might even be C tier. You know what? I'm going to give it... yeah, C tier for the town. The problem with Evader is, yes, you are 25% faster than Sam. 25% faster while Sam is chasing you. Sam does not care. Sam will shoot you. He will slow you down. He says, oh, 25% faster. Blip. Okay, now you're way slower, and I'm still catching up to you. Oh, you recovered from that? Blip. I'm going to shoot you again. Doesn't matter. He can shoot you multiple times in the same stun and slow you down, completely negating this perk. Is it still a good perk? I mean, sure, kinda, but you don't want to run Sam. Sam is the one demon that you don't want to try and loop, or in fact, he probably, this, bottom of C tier, maybe even D tier. It's not a perk you want to use to run Sam because Sam will shoot you to slow you down to catch up to you and win. None of the other Azazel people can do that. Anna just runs at you, can't slow you down or anything. Molly, same thing, just runs at you, can't do anything. So, you know, Evader's going to help you a whole lot. When it comes to Zara, Zara can web the areas around you, but you're still faster than her, and you can still, you know, go around those areas instead of anything else. So, unfortunately, Evader is just not that useful of a perk on the town. Next up, we have Immune, which, when you're slowed down by minions, and again, it's finally an actual, you know, a useful perk. Whenever you're slowed down by minions, you're slowed down by 70% less than you normally would be. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter. It just, actually, you know what? It's probably, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll probably say it's bumped up the C tier, and it's probably better than Evader on this map in particular, just because the biggest threat are the spirits and not so much Sam, because people just avoid Sam or stun him. They're usually trying to get rid of the spirits by banishing them, but if you want to completely ignore the fact that they're a threat and you just run straight through them, sure, Immune can let you do that, because it's very rare for you to actually be have more than like 2 or 3 spirits on you at any time if you're doing things right. If you're evading correctly, Immune will let you just kind of like just run through the town willy-nilly without having to worry too much. If you're just trying to run straight through all the spirits, again, that's a dumb move. It can teach you bad habits that you kind of fall into later on when you're not using it. So I don't like perks that teach you bad habits, but this one can at least let you, on the town, can at least let you move a little bit more freely, but not as freely as Repellent would, because, you know, if you're evading like you're supposed to, Repellent's going to make sure that they can't catch up to you to begin with. Next up, we have Team Leader. Team Leader's going to come here and be like right around here on A tier. Team Leader, while it's not going to help you too much in the general game, it will help you in the times that it matters. You will burn those books much faster with somebody who has Team Leader on, giving everybody else that buff, that 100% speed buff to long interactions. You can pick people up faster in emergencies, you can burn the books faster. It's just a good end game perk, and that's what I really want to emphasize for Team Leader in the town. It's an end game perk. When everybody's in the castle or in the church, defending the church from Sam and defending the church from the spirits, the person with that buff is helping the person who's burning those books to burn them faster, while they also help to body block, while they also help to burn away spirits. This person is a general buff to everybody. Somebody goes down while somebody else is burning the book. The person who's holding the books can drop the book real quick, grab a med kit, get this person up while the person with team leader is still, doing his thing, trying to defend people. So it's an absolutely really awesome perk. And here's the best part about this team leader perk, especially for the town, is that it doesn't matter if you are knocked out, so long as you're around other alive people, they're getting that buff, which means they're getting that buff to pick you back up as well. Excellent perk for the town. Everything else up here is probably better, but this is an excellent end game perk, and it works on every level of the town. And last but not least, under pressure, long interacts are 150% faster. When you are the last player alive, co-op only, can't use it on Nightmare. Still wish I could. Excuse me. So, under pressure is a really, really niche perk, and unfortunately, I would probably say it's top of D tier right now. The reason I say it's top of D tier is because, again, if you're if you're doing the under pressure, it means you're the last one alive and you have to get a book burned, or you're the last one alive and you're having to pick somebody up because you have to go and hunt that book. And unfortunately, there's no safe space away from Sam and the spirits. If you could just say away from Sam and the minions on this map couldn't fly and go through walls and stuff like that, there are plenty of safe places, but unfortunately, not from Sam. Sam actually can shoot you to death over time. So trying to stay up up high on something that Sam can't quite get to, he doesn't care. He can shoot you, and he'll still do that. And if he's chasing you and you're trying to resurrect somebody, you're not going to get that resurrection, especially not as the last person alive. Unfortunately, that's just the case. So this is the end tier list for the town. As you can see, we have the 3 god tier perks that will stay god tier perks until something else comes out, but I think they'll probably still stay god tier perks. Ironically, Speedy is not an S tier perk in general. I think I might have to go back and put it up in S tier in my general list. But it's not that good for farmhouse, and it's not that good for inn. So actually, it probably won't go back into S tier. But it's usually an A or B tier, I think, is where I normally put it. But this is the tier list for the town. I hope it's informative enough for you to help you start making decisions on what to start using. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. If you would have just kind of adjusted it just a little bit, I still want to know, because I'm interested in trying to figure out things, because, this is according to my playstyle and the way I think. If other people have different playstyles, they might, prioritize other things more. I'm trying to think of this also from a team perspective and not a solo perspective, even though I do a lot of solo nightmare attempts on my channel. So if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, let me know in the comments. Hope you all have a great day, and as always, stay positive.